table.
Well, we're going to start with talking about the Padre payroll, and you're going to kick it off in a Dodgers jersey.
Well, I'm paying off a bet. Okay, here's the deal. The Padres season is over. It ended really badly, though it was a great summer of baseball. We should recall and remember that. But everybody that I've spoken to, John, just has an ache in their heart because the general consensus is the Padres should still be playing this week in the National Championship Series. And instead, the Padres are like you and me watching the playoffs on TV. Now, as we move into the Padre offseason, huge issue as it relates to the Padre payroll. This is a full screen look of the decisions the Padres have to make, and this is not going to be easy. I'll walk you through this. Their payroll for 2024, the just completed season, was about $169 million. Obviously, they worked really hard to cut payroll to get beneath the luxury tax. If they were to bring back everybody on the roster who would do pay raises, in addition to the guys who have the multi-year contracts, their payroll would bust to $231 million. I just don't see that happening. So here's the list of guys that they got to make decisions on. Now, we know Luis Arraez won the National League batting title again at 318. We also know that there are limitations to him. He's not great with the glove. He's kind of a man without a position, doesn't run the bases very well, does not hit for any power whatsoever. He made $8 million last year. Miami paid the entire contract last year. The Padres take on the entire contract this year. And with arbitration, he could go as much to $14 million. So the burning question for the Padres, despite the fact this guy can swing the stick, despite the fact this guy's kind of undisciplined, despite the fact this guy is limited in other facets of his game, are you willing to pay somebody $14 million to be a single sitter? Big issue. Second name is Dylan Cease. Arbitration eligible, comes from the White Sox. They own his rights for another year. His payday, according to the arbitration figures, probably is going to be $13 million. Give it to him. Michael King. He became Greg Maddux. He evolved into almost an ace of the staff. He's arbitration eligible. Because it's only the second time he'd be arbitration eligible, it probably bumps to $10 million at least. The sticky wicket is Profar. You got him on a value contract at $1.5 million plus bonuses. Had the 280 season. However, there were two really crummy months in that 280 season. He tailed off after July, didn't hit much in the postseason, and he just hired Scott Boras. Are you going to pay him and bump him from 1.5 to 10 mil? Then there's the kid. He's not going to play next year on a rookie salary. That rookie salary as a second-year major leaguer would be about $900,000. I think Merrill is going to probably get maybe $5 million, maybe tops $8 million. Maybe they try to do a multi-year contract with him, but there's a big pay raise there. Higgy, the home run hitter. What a gem he turned out to be. Arbitration eligible, journeyman guy. He's got to get a pay bump at least up to $5 million. Tanner Scott could be a closer, could be the right setup guy. Not going to come cheap. They're going to have to try to sign him maybe to a multi-year deal to keep Tanner Scott from going out into the open market, because if he becomes a free agent, I think he's gone. And then they got the bench bunch, Solano, Peralta. They'd get pay bumps, not mega money, but they'd get pay bumps just based on the contribution this past season. So you could sales pitch the guy wearing the Dodger hoodie or the guy wearing the Padre hoodie and say, keep the team together. But the problem is the cost factor. And I just don't think ownership is going to allow the Padres to push the payroll way over the $200 million mark, shove it all the way up to $231 million is what it would be if you paid all those guys what most people in baseball tend to think they are due. There's some tough decisions that have to be made, starting with the guy, the leadoff hitter who leads off our chart right there. John Riley, you're a big man on economics. Give me an opinion.
Yeah, they got a crisis on their hands here. Assuming that the maybe the maximum payroll they want to go after is around the same as last year. because this doesn't fit in the budget, but you got 47,000 people showing up at Petco. Hopefully they could cover it all. When you go down the list, I'm with you. Arraez, I love him. I love him on our team, but he is sort of positionless. If he were the permanent DH, I'd be okay with that if we had a good hitting first baseman, second baseman. Cease, I think, like you said, just sign him. King is due. Profar is the one that I think the Padres may not re-sign, but Profar really wants to be here, and San Diego loves Profar, so you hope that relationship doesn't break apart.
Yeah, but you got to call area code 714 and deal with Scott Boras.
Yeah, well, so I remember Hassan Kim hired Boras, but Profar too?
Yes.
Wow.
What are you doing with Kim?
Oh, you have to let him go. It's sad to say, but you've got already too many infielders as it is, and I think you just let Bogarts play short, or maybe at some point, maybe Jackson Merrill. Maybe he comes in, and then they got DeVries like down in single A ball.
Yeah, but that's way down the road.
Down the road, yeah. So I think you move on from Ha-Seong Kim. You thank him for his time here. We appreciated him, but I think you turn the page.
There's a realistic thing you need to pay attention to. He did not have a great first year at the plate.
No, he
played really well defensively. Had the great complete second year. Third year didn't hit, and then he got hurt, and he's not going to be back. Torn labrum surgery till probably June.
Ooh.
So I don't know that I'd even pick up the $8 million option in his contract. And with Scott Boras repping him, he's gonna take the $2 million buyout, go onto the open market, and see what he can get somewhere else. So you got a question on Profar, you got a question on Kim, and you're kind of weaving back and forth on Arraez.
Yeah, but I still think you keep Arraez. I just think you just got to find a spot for him.
At $14.8 million as a single sitter?
Yes. Because the dude makes a difference. He's getting on base all the time. He's putting the ball in play, although they didn't do that in the last 2.5 games of the playoffs. But I think you stick with Arraez.
And what do you do about Tanner Scott?
He's gone. The great pitcher, hella good. You got to let him go. And then Peralta and Solano, you probably let those guys go. The Padres are going to have to make some tough spots. They can't really add new guys. They're going to have to make a decision on the guys that they have, who they're going to keep.
Yeah, tough call. It's not going to be the same team on opening day next year just because of the budgetary constraints. And I don't think that budget is going to $200 million, much less $231 million if you had re-signed everybody that we had put up on the board at the price baseball people are saying. So real tough call. So what question should we ask Padre fan who will jump on board here in Fans Forum? Should we ask him, which guy are you willing to let go? Are you willing to let Arraez go? Are you willing to let Kim walk? Are you willing to say goodbye to Tanner Scott, despite all the unique things he did out of the bullpen as a setup guy? So maybe that should be our Fans Forum question for Padre fan. Who you keep and who you going to let go?
Yeah, those are good questions. The other one I have is if you let go of Profar, where would he land and how much would he get paid? Because it didn't work out last time in Colorado. So the Padres might have an opportunity to sign him on the cheap again.
Okay, Fans Forum and chat boxes open. You're a Padre fan. Jump on board. Oh, by the way, fashion critics, if you have something to say about this hoodie or that hoodie, that's okay. Fashion critics are allowed. Doesn't guarantee you'll get your comment on the air, but so be it. Tough call on the Padres. World Series is just around the corner. Padres offseason emotionally is just about to begin.